Right, and I understand the talk about protecting the infrastructure, it's very important, but I want to focus on, and I'm going to largely base the scenario I'm about to outline, I'm going to base it on a CNN February 9th exclusive about a tabletop exercise, and it basically describes the following tabletop exercise. China creates a fake AI video showing a Senate candidate destroying ballots, and they're able to identify but that it's AI, that it's fake. So we have the ability to do that, and I think that's what you've described the DNI's office is able to do through that, through DARPA, I guess, the effort, the semantic forensics technology and all that. Okay, so we know it's fake. What the article says, and what I want to know, maybe the article's wrong and you could correct me, is after that, in this tabletop exercise, no one knew what happened next. There was, they struggled on what the response should be. There was a struggle, who would notify the public? According to this article, no, and the number 2 at the FBI, number 2 at CIA, number 2 at DHS was part of this tabletop. Nobody raised their hand and says that we will do it. We want to be the ones in charge of notifying the public. There was real consternation if, in fact, this was being promoted through a cutout, like maybe I imagine like a blogger. Let's say there's a right-wing blogger or a left-wing blogger, and that person is the one that released the video. Now there was certain fear that if we go out and say that this video is fake and this person is spreading it, people are going to say the government itself is interfering in our elections. And then a real question about if so many Americans already don't trust the federal government or the intelligence agencies, you know, how can we get them to trust us that this is not a real video? So here's what I want to ask. If, in fact, a scenario like this plays out, video comes out, I'm not on the ballot this year, so let's use me. Video comes out, and it's me in an audio recording, fake, saying, yeah, I'm going to rig the election, and I'm going to steal a bunch of ballots. It's fake. You know it's fake. What happens at that point? Because I'm now a week before the election, 6 days before the election. Does someone notify me? Am I able to say that? Is someone going to come out and say, this is not real, he really didn't say that? What happens? Because this article says it would be turned over to state and local officials. I don't know what a state and local official is supposed to do. They're going to turn around and say, yes, the DNI's office or the FBI or somebody told us this was fake. I don't understand what the process that would happen at that point is. Do we have a process that would kick in a situation like that one that I just described?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I wasn't at the tabletop exercise, so I don't know what happened in that particular scenario, but I understand that's not actually an accurate representation of what the discussion was. I would say that in terms of what would happen, yes, there would be a statement. So I think the model that I pointed to in 2020 is an appropriate model if there is basically a video or some fake, some deep fake or disinformation that's being promoted. It could be that we find out about it through intelligence. It could be otherwise identified, and it would go through, if it's intelligence, through the notification framework. The notification framework is an interagency group that basically indicates, okay, we think this is something that deserves a public statement.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to ask you this for clarification. So the video is clearly fake. You'll be able to, you may not be able to attribute it to a foreign entity, but you'll at least be able to say this is not real and we're working to see where it came from. Maybe it was designed by some guy in a basement, but maybe it was designed by a nation state.
Yeah.
But at a minimum, we have to be able to say this thing is not real. And it could be the work of a foreign adversary. Who, I say we, but who would be, would you be the one that would stand up? Is it the DNI? Is it the FBI? Who would be the person that would stand before the American people and say, we're not interfering in the election, we just want you to know that video is not real? Who would be in charge of that?
Yeah, so I could be the person that goes out and makes that determination. And I'll just give you an example, frankly, one of the ones that the chairman just mentioned from this morning. There's an article today about the fact that there is a fake video that was basically promoted, we think, by Storm 1516. It's a Russian-affiliated group, basically. And that video purports to show a whistleblower and a Ukrainian former employee of a made-up CIA-supported troll farm tasked with interfering in the upcoming presidential election. CIA immediately came out with a statement that basically indicates and is reflected in the article that this is fake. And I am here to say categorically that this claim is patently false, that there is no such thing. It is disinformation, and that is the kind of approach that we'll continue to take across the board.
Okay, but is that established that you would be, you say you could be the one that, I mean, who is, I guess my point is there really, I don't want there to be any gray area. Like someone needs to be in charge of interfacing with the American people and ultimately saying, we will be responsible for notifying the American people.
Yes,
Has
the
that been
only-
established?
The only hesitation that you hear from me is based on the fact that there may be certain circumstances in which, for example, a state or local official or other basically public authority is in a better position to make the public statement initially and for the rest of us to come back behind. So it's just a question going through the process and determining what exactly is the issue that's being raised, what's the fake information that's being put forward, who is going to be the best essentially official to immediately come out
And
and
who makes that
disclaim
decision
it.
about who the best
That's
person is?
through, for example, the notification framework